somber mood in Harris's watch party overnight after Donald Trump dominated, blowing through the so-called blue wall of Midwest states that Democrats had counted on.
How did Trump increase his support this much? He made inroads in groups that have been Democratic voters, going from about 32% of the Latino vote to 45%. That's a 13-point jump. It's a major shift reflected across the country. It was even higher in some key states where Trump campaigned. He won 50% of the Latino vote in North Carolina, 58% of it in Michigan. It's the first presidential race since abortion bans became law, but Donald Trump's coalition actually improved a bit among women, going up 3, even as he ran famously against this woman candidate.
The first time we elected him, maybe it was a mistake. Maybe we didn't know. Maybe whatever. The second time we've elected him, now we know what America really thinks. The voice of America has spoken. The people of America have spoken. America has spoken. America obviously wants Trump as president. This is the third time he's ran and the second time he's won. Donald Trump is the 2024 president. Now, how does that make you feel as an American? This is the reason why a lot of expats do not want to come back to America. The politics in America are just wonky. Today, I'm going to ask 2 Americans to give me their personal take on what just happened in the 2024 election. How do we move forward from here? And where are we now?
Kamala losing shows America and the world that the U.S. chose against a woman leading. And they chose against that even when their way of choosing against that was, well, we already know everything that Trump is, right? So I think that what comes next and what Kamala running in the first place started is because the thing is, you can't resolve an issue that you're not fully aware of the totality of. So, like, listen, I'm not an AC technician or anything, but if you think that what's wrong with your air conditioner is that, like, it just needs a filter change or something's going on with the fan, if you call somebody out, you're going to think that you feel relieved that, like, it's solved now, right? And yet it's not really going to be solved if what you don't realize is that the compressor is really what's going on. Again, just go with me on the analogy. I'm not an AC technician or anything. And that's where we're at. I think that right now, even with all of the grief and disgust that so much of America and the world is feeling right now, after being shown that America chose against so many vulnerable populations, and so many populations that have routinely been chosen against, right, is just how deep the problem goes and just how big the problem is. And I think there could have been a temporary sense of relief, and obviously a lot of celebration and jubilation had Kamala won, and that would have been wonderful. But I think that what happened just now exposed how deep the racism runs, how deep the misogyny runs, and we had to have that awareness first. We had to be aware of how widespread it is. As heartbreaking as that realization is, as disgusting as that awareness feels, at first, to be really, really present with, we have to, in order to create something new, in order to resolve it, in order to heal it, and in order to create something beautiful.
What are my feelings on Trump? Well, I mean, as with everything else political, these are kind of complicated things. But I think that in terms of character, like most people in politics, his character has been consistently terrible. I think that he has stiffed a lot of people for a lot of money, and he probably has all sorts of personal problems that I wouldn't even want to think about. So, in terms of character, I don't think anything elevates him from any other politician in general, unless that first assassination attempt was as legit as it appears, in which case he undoubtedly showed a tremendous amount of courage. Well, if you look at the national debt clock, you can see that there is just an impending storm, and that was going to fall in the lap of whichever president we got. And things are going to need to be restructured and sorted out. And for better or worse, Donald Trump is somebody who's gone through numerous bankruptcies and has probably as much experience as anyone in sorting out and restructuring failing businesses. So I think from that context, I think that if we're going to actually deal with the national debt and unfunded liabilities, there's probably nobody better to be in the room realistically than somebody like him and the people he would appoint. Well, I think that it was profoundly undemocratic, and I have some real suspicions that the people high up in the DNC knew that Joe Biden was running on fumes, to put it generously, and that he was battling with some dementia issues throughout his pregnancy, throughout his presidency, and I think that his debate with Trump was the earliest presidential debate that has ever occurred. And I believe that it was timed so as to give them the excuse and reason to get rid of Biden and replace him, but still not have enough time to go through the normal primaries that the Republicans and Democrats would hold. So basically, I think people in the Democrat Party ought to feel like they received the bum's rush, that they were completely bypassed in having any say over who their candidate would be, and that they appointed somebody who, the DNC basically appointed somebody without any regard at all for what registered Democrats across the country felt would be the best candidate.
Baba Chi for president 2028.